Welcome and thanks for viewing my video. My name is Catherine Blackwelder, and today I have for you a brief presentation on the library I visited and the librarian I interviewed. Included in the presentation will be an introduction to the library, my research methods, my results, and any conclusions and recommendations that I have. Thank you and enjoy.
The library I visited is a high school in the urban area of a small but growing city in the center of North Carolina. The librarian I interviewed is Mrs. M. Mrs. M is the sole librarian for the school. She supervises one part-time employee as her assistant and 4 student workers, 1 a class period. In addition, Mrs. M is a Renaissance woman in that not only does she manage her staff, but coordinates students and fellow teachers. Each of these requires a different type of management and a different level of supervision and support. The methodology implemented for this particular situation included an open interview and tour with Mrs. M, as well as time for observation of the daily activities and running of the library. I was able to ask as many questions as I needed and was privileged to shadow Mrs. M for as long as needed. Although not used, I was also given permission to question any of the library employees, teachers, or students in the library for the duration of the interview. My results are as follows. Every day, Mrs. M does what she refers to as her administrative tasks. Those tasks which she alone is responsible. Examples of these tasks include completing overdue notices, responding to work-related emails, spending, creation of the budget, updating and improving the library's website, collection development and weeding, and freshman orientation. At times, Mrs. M wishes that more time could be devoted to such tasks. However, that would require additional staff, most notably an additional librarian to aid in the running of the library. Additional tasks completed by Mrs. M include assisting teachers with class projects and helping them with research and technology. At least half of the library is computers set up for individual and class use. Another task is the supervision of students taking online classes in the virtual high school class, and the supervision of students who have permission to take their lunch in the library. Mrs. M's day breaks down, according to her, as follows. 10% supervision of employees, paid and unpaid, 40% daily administrative tasks, 20% scheduled appointments with teachers and administrators, 20% unscheduled appointments with teachers and administrators, and 10% supervising students in the library for other reasons. According to the 1/3 rule, an administrator's day or duty should break down into thirds as follows. 33% in business operation, 33% internal customers, and 33% external customers. Taking these estimates and breaking them down into the same groupings utilized by the 1/3 rule, it can be surmised that Mrs. M's day breaks down accordingly. 40% of the day is spent doing business operations. 10% is spent with internal customers, and the rest of the day, 50%, is spent with external customers. In addition, Mrs. M feels that there is much more to running a library and being a good librarian than contemplating the proper breakdown of her day according to various management theories. Definitions of leadership and management. When asked, Mrs. M responded that good managers must be good leaders. In addition, she considers management to mean supervising and making sure that tasks are done properly, while leadership and leading involves being good at motivating and helping others. I had a few questions which were quite pertinent to me regarding Mrs. M's management of the library. The first question is as follows. How do you offer great customer service with even the most difficult patrons? Surprisingly, Mrs. M said that she does not get too many difficult patrons. But then again, she is a very direct person and not inclined to put up with difficult individuals. She stated that of course there were teachers that she was not fond of, but that everyone is treated with the same respect and honesty. In addition, she stated that she has the luxury when dealing with difficult students of simply sending them back to their teachers, or if that is not an option, calling in an administrator. She indicated that confronting these individuals was not something she was willing to do and would defer to others in such a situation. My last two questions involve the future of libraries and any advice that she might have. Mrs. M feels that the future of libraries is bright. She does not see libraries becoming antiquated anytime soon. However, she does feel that those currently entering the field need to be highly skilled with regard to technology as well as traditional library services. While she believes that those currently entering the field need all the skills of a librarian, being current on technology is key and can only help as it adds to the librarian's repertoire. Conclusion.
To conclude, I just wanted to say
Some
that
opportunities
this
for
experience
improvement
has been
include the
very
addition
beneficial.
of more
I
assistance
greatly
and increased
enjoyed
programming for
not
students
only getting to
with
meet
regard
Mrs. M,
to how to do
but to
research and using
experience
appropriate research methods,
librarianship from a
including
school media
what are
perspective.
legitimate sources
I
and
have
what
a
are not.
newfound
Additional
appreciation
improvements
for the
include the
leadership
constant
and
quest to
management
increase
that is
circulation
involved in the
and the
school
number
media
of students
setting,
who use the
and
library.
have learned a lot from this experience and hope to be able to utilize it
The
in the
three
future.
secrets have a great applicability to Mrs. M and her library. In fact, I believe that Mrs. M regularly employs the three secrets without even realizing. She seems to have such a great rapport with everyone at the school, from the administration to the teachers and the students. I was able to observe this firsthand as Mrs. M interacted with those around her. They all looked to her with mutual respect and treated her as one in a position of authority, while at the same time showing familiarity with her and were relaxed and comfortable around her. Mrs. M is very clear in what she wants and what her expectations are for the library. In addition, she works very hard to know what her customers want as well. She strives to maintain great relationships with all of her customer types, and this really goes back to what Mrs. M's advice is for being a great administrator. She believes that being a great administrator means being a great helper and wanting to serve others. Although Mrs. M is not aware of all that she does with regard to creating raving fans, she has definitely done so. I went into the interview unsure of how leadership would play a role in the school library. Yet all I saw was a place that would not have been able to exist without someone with the leadership skills like Mrs. M. She was able to give all of her customers plus 1%, while at the same time maintaining an attitude that if their demands became more than she was able to do, she would send them elsewhere. I greatly admire Mrs. M and think that she is highly regarded by the rest of the school as well. I strive to be a school media specialist of her caliber one day.